This is a story I told a few years ago about an artist that was special to me because of how he used his platform to help me when I was just trying to help him. Mike One was a Chicago rapper that sadly took his own life a few years ago. I was really thinking about him the week I told this story and the impact that he had on my journey as a photographer and as an artist in the Chicago hip hop scene. I just wanted to share what a great person he was to me the few times we met on that mic, and that's the same reason I'm sharing it here on this podcast. And before we get into it, if you or someone you know needs help, please contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988 here in the U.S. Thanks.
Oh, everybody say we bring everybody up? Can we bring everybody up? Whoa. You got me hearing a love story. I'm like, All right. I did. I'm sorry. Wait. Key! It only helps the women. So I was going to tell this story a couple months ago, and I actually didn't get drawn from that. And so I told something else last month, and I was still thinking about this dude. So he's no longer with us, so if there's anything that might be triggering, this is your warning. So I take a lot of photos around, and breakdancers are like what I do a lot of. But back about a decade ago, I was going to shows kind of all the time, hip-hop shows, like MCs. And like the Abbey, Subterranean, and Shrine used to have like all these dope 90s hip-hop artists. And anytime there was any hip-hop, even artists I didn't know, I would just like put it on the calendar and go. Like weeknights, whatever. Like I get home, I'll try and make it through the morning and be okay. And whenever I go to a show, maybe because I'm cheap, like if I pay to get in, I'm seeing everybody. So when the doors open, I'm there. Right? And I'm going to the openers, and I'm like, and there's like nobody there. It's like 4 people, but I'm there. And since I'm there to take pictures, I take pictures of all the opening acts as well, because like it's their moment on the stage. And some dudes like living out their rap video fantasies, but some dudes are like really good, and you always get surprised by the openers. And afterwards, I would always give them their photos. Be like, yo, I was there when you performed, nice work, here's your stuff. And they're always like really cool about it. I went to go see J. Rue in 2013, and this dude opened, and he had his own little group with him, like in the crowd. So they were there, and his name was Mike One. And Mike came through, and he had, like, it wasn't really my style of hip-hop, but he, like, knew his way around the stage. There's something about, like, when you see kids on stage that have been practicing in their basement, and people who actually know how to MC, it's just different. And it wasn't my style of music, but he was great. And I, dapped him up at the show and gave his picture. In 2014, I saw he was opening for Rakim. And so I went back to the Abbey. Mike One comes on there, he was no longer like the opening act, but he had his own booth there, Rakim was there. And I went up to him and was like, yo, I'm taking a photo, we met like a year ago, remember the guy I got the picture? He's like, oh, that was you. And I'm like, yeah, so he said, come see me after the set. So I take pictures of him, and he comes up to me afterwards and goes, you want to meet Rob? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to meet the guy and see. So we go backstage, he's like, hey, this is Keith, Rakim, I want to meet him. And it was just like what you expect, by the way. It wasn't like a crazy scene. It was just chill. Rakim's like drinking tea. I mean, it was just pretty. This is exactly what you would expect. But it was just so cool because it was like one of these guys that I listened to growing up, and this guy that really doesn't know me was like, hey, come backstage with me. Maybe that was 2014. It was a year later. 2016. I haven't really talked to him in 2 years. He emails me and he's like, yo, I'm going to be performing out in the suburbs, and I want you, you want to come through and take some photos. I'm like, yeah, sure. What's going on? He goes, well, I'm opening for Bone Thugs and Harmony. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. I literally hadn't heard from him in ages. So I drive all the way out there, and there's a couple opening acts. He does his thing, and he's dope. Like he raps, he's a drummer, and the crowd, like people showed up for him that night. And Bone Thugs, like, I don't know what they were doing. They were like Lauren Hill style, like they just weren't there. And so we get a chance to talk like in between sets before they go out. And so how you been, man? He's like, I'm really good. So, oh, usually it's like, I'm good, things are blowing up, I'm big acts I'm looking for. And he said, actually, I deal with depression, and I couldn't do anything for a year. He said, I got treatment, I'm doing okay now, and I'm thinking, well, this is great, because your career is clearly, like, blowing up. And he's like, yeah, but I was in a really dark place. I was like, okay, well, he's like, oh, good. So then, thanks for having me out. Bone Thugs comes out. The show was just insane. They had like a whole bar set up on stage. And as they're performing, they're like drinking hard liquor the whole time. And like 45 minutes in, they're all clearly wasted. Like, I don't know what, I actually left. And this is like, I was on stage like with these guys, like taking photos of. At some point I was just like, I don't see, I don't have these guys then, so I just left. And the reason I was thinking about it was because it was just really cool. Like, that's one of those experiences as a photographer when you're finally on stage with like a Grammy award-winning act, you're like, this is pretty dope. And this dude who I didn't know from anywhere just kept like putting me on. It was just really cool. And a year later on his Instagram page, I saw that he had passed away. And as I was preparing for this, I was trying to get the dates right. It was 13, I met him, 14, you introduced me to rock him, 16, we were on stage, and 17, he passed away at 40 years old. And when I was looking him up tonight, right before he passed in, the article was in August, but in July he said, he reposted a Facebook post from God. There's all these accounts. And the post said something to the effect of, people who believe people who take their own life go to hell, and never met somebody that deals with depression. And 2 weeks later, he was gone. And I was just really grateful. I met really great people along the way. And for some reason, I was just thinking about Mike One the other day. So that's my story about Mike One.
Thanks for listening to this episode of My Home is Special. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to get future episodes automatically. You can go to myhomeisspecial.com to see the full project and sign up for email updates. Be sure to follow KBevPhoto on Instagram or go to kbevphoto.com to see what I'm snapping these days. There's a lot on both to explore. For now, this is Keith, aka KBev, signing off. Peace.